Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Annie. This is flosstube number 123, and I'm here to show you my cross-stitch WiPs, my plans for the next week. And also I want to do a little life update. It's been a while since I did one. There's a reason for that, but I'm going to put that in the end. One thing I wanted to say is I'm sorry for not being here on Monday. If you listen to my live update in the end, you will know that I really have a good apology for that. But it just wasn't possible. So I'm here today on a Thursday, which also means I'm not coming back next Monday, so in 4 days. But instead, I'm going to come back Friday in a week, so 8 days. Because afterwards I'm going on vacation anyways, and then I have a nice cut basically from everything before the vacation to afterwards. Yeah, I would say we get started. I've been off of work for a bit over a week now, I think. I told you in my last video I have basically a month of vacation, which is really nice. But it also means I did not stitch anything on my travel stitching. I took it with me, I went to my parents, I took it with me, but I just never stitched on it. I stitched on my main project that I took with me as well, because that one's also a project that's fairly easy to stitch on, not a whole lot of colors. So I just took that one. And yeah, no travel stitching. Yesterday I had my car in the garage and they needed about 20 to 30 minutes, and I knew that beforehand. So I was really thinking about taking it with me. I took it with me to put on my shoes, and then I had my shoes on and was about to leave the door, and I decided, nah, not going to take it with me, just playing on my phone, not feeling like stitching, and taking all the stuff with me to stitch. So I decided to just play on my phone. So I did that. So, long story short, no travel stitching. But I still have 3 projects I stitched on, so I'm going to show you those. The first one is the project I stitch on every Monday for half an hour to an hour, at least during Stitch Mania. It is my oldest full coverage WiP. It's also my oldest WiP overall. And it's a Golden Kite project. On Monday, I want to stitch on my oldest full coverage piece, and Monday is Golden Kite Day. So every Monday, I want to stitch on a Golden Kite. My 3 oldest full coverage pieces are all Golden Kites. There shouldn't be a problem in the near future. So the project I stitched on is Colored Dimensions by Golden Kite. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where it's at right now. So since you saw last, I stitched on it for 2 Mondays. So basically, I think close to 2 hours. The second Monday, I was done with my column after 45 minutes and decided not to start the next one. After every column finish, I kind of feel a very small finish hangover, which normally means that day or directly to start with the next column is hard. It's really hard. I need at least a few hours of a break. The next day is no problem at all, but a bit of a break I normally need. So last time you saw me, I was stitching on this column over here, so that's now completely finished. Whenever there's a column, a row of stitches that's not stopping at the column break, I just continue stitching that color until there's a natural stop to it, because there's then another color. So I went over quite a bit. I went into the last page over here, and there are, I think, 30 more stitches, so a bit more than an inch, and I will have reached the right edge of the design, which is really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. So I bring it a little bit closer, the things I stitched. Yeah. Really, really, really happy. Can't wait to get back to it, which will happen on Monday. So not that long to go. This is stitched on a 25 count even weave. I'm stitching 2 over 1/10 stitch, needleminders from Denka Designs. And I think I have 3 more columns to finish up here before I then move further down in those pages to keep up with my diagonal pages. but I'm really looking forward to get into that last page up here. It will take some time, but I'm really looking forward to this. I want to finish this project this year, so I really have to get going. There's quite a bit left to do, but nevertheless, very exciting. So this is Coloring Mountains. And then on Tuesdays, I stitch on my oldest non-full coverage piece. So once again, there were 2 Tuesdays since I saw you last, so 2 days of project progress. Sorry. My oldest non-full coverage piece at the moment is Red Queen by Mirabilia. This is going to be the finished piece, and at the moment I'm concentrating on this background over here. So I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. Really happy with that. I finished that part over here and started with the next one down here. As is once again about 2 hours of stitching. I picked the colors basically from top to bottom, left to right. The next symbol that's missing, I do 1 length of thread. And I think there was, oh yeah, there was black back stitching in here. So I already had black on my needle with 1 strand of floss, but I decided to just fold it in half and continue to stitch with the black. Did all of that in here, and I still had, also in the background area, and I still had quite a bit of floss left. So I decided to go into the border, because as soon as I have finished that background over here, I want to stitch the whole border. So I did that with all the black, and there are less than 10 stitches before I've reached the bottom of the design. So once again, really exciting. Yeah, not a whole lot of progress. I mean, that row did take quite some time. But yeah, really happy that at least that part is finished, and I'm now only need that part down here. So 2 or 3 more Tuesdays, and that should be done. Really looking forward to that, and can't wait to stitch some more on her. She is beautiful. Yeah, she is stitched on a 32 count gray linen, and I'm stitching her 2/2 full crosses, needleminder from Denka Designs. And basically I stitch everything else except for the dress. And then I will do the dress in the end and just, yeah, stitch until the dress and piece is done. So that will be very exciting, but for the moment, yeah, there's just a big hole in the middle. Okay, and now we're already at the last project I stitched on. So during Stitch Mania, I basically sorted all my projects in a list. The ones where my year-end goal was finished easiest was on top, and the ones where it took me the longest were on the bottom. And during Stitch Mania, I go through that list and finish my year-end goal, and then move on to the next project. So for some of my projects, the year-end goal is to actually finish the project, so I'm doing that before I move on to the next one. On others, especially on my full coverage pieces, my year-end goal is to finish a stitch count goal. So with those, I just finish my stitch count goal and then move on to the next project. Yeah, I did have some questions that with that way of stitching Stitch Mania and finishing so many goals, if I'm not going to get bored with the rest of my projects during the end of the year, and I don't think I will. I have a few projects where there's still a ton of progress missing, and so I probably will have about 5 projects till the end of the year that I can keep rotating with. So I think that should be fine. But I had that thought as well. But with those projects and with how long they will take, I don't think it will be a problem. But back to my WiPs and what I stitched out. Yeah, so the project I stitched on the last time I saw you was Royal Games No. 2 by Mirabilia, and that's still the project I'm stitching on and not yet done with my goal. my goal is to finish this project. So let me show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. So I basically did quite a bit. I finished all of that in the middle and up here, and all of that over here. It's been 1.5 weeks. Normally, for me, that's not a lot of progress. But with everything going on, I'm really happy with how much I did. I do hope that today I might be able to finish all the cross stitches. Not sure about that, but I really do hope. It's the first day during my vacation where I really have nothing else to do, just stitching. And I really want to take the time and just stitch and hopefully finish all the cross stitches, at least with the DMC thread in here. This part, for example, is all krennic. And I'm just going to stitch all the DMC, do all the back stitching, then all the DMC, then the krennic, then the back stitching, and then the beads. Normally, I don't like to keep all the beads until the end. Normally, I bead as I go. But I think with this one, as I'm stitching on it, and just on this project for such a long time, I think it's fine to then spend one day beading. And yeah, I'm probably going to do that. But I really do hope to finish this project this weekend. That would be amazing. Not sure that's going to work, but it would be amazing. And I'm really looking forward to that and really want to achieve that. So we'll see about that. She stitched, or they are stitched, on a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 2/2 full crosses, needleminder from Danka Designs. And yeah, they are gorgeous. They're going to be super sparkly. You can see the Queen of Diamonds already is super sparkly. And she will be the same. So really looking forward to that. But there's quite a bit of work still left to do. As I said, I'm really hoping to do a lot of progress today. So next time I see you, I'm already stitching on something else. Because let's move to plans. Basically, I'm going to continue with Stitch Mania. And as I said, I'm going on vacation on the 4th of June. So I have 3 days of June for my June rotation. But it's not Monday or Tuesday or anything like that. It's the middle of the week. So I decided to just continue Stitch Mania until the 3rd of June. That's when I do a video. And on the 4th, I'm on vacation anyways. So I have vacation projects with me. And don't have to worry about anything rotation-like. And when I'm back, I'm going back to my normal rotation. So that's the plan so far. Which means I basically have another week of Stitch Mania, a bit more than a week of Stitch Mania, which is needed. I did not get as far as I would have liked, especially with Royal Games. But I do have the next project with me to show you what will be the next project after Royal Games is done. And that will be 4 Seasons by Have Enough Designs. The artwork is by Jacek Jaka, and I really have to look it up once again. I need a bit more than 5,000 stitches on this one to finish my year-end goal. So my year-end goal on this one will probably not be finished until I go on vacation, and that's fine. But at least I should be at least able to start it. So I show you where I'm at with this one, and this one is always a bit complicated to show because of the way I stitch it. So this is where I'm at with 4 Seasons. And this one, I basically stitch in 20 by 20 blocks, move over the whole width of the pattern before I move one row down, and once again stitch 20 by 20 blocks. I'm presently in this block over here. This one is started, but nowhere close to finishing. And yeah, 5,100 stitches more on this project should get me to that edge over here, and probably already start in the 3rd row. That would be amazing, but that takes a lot of time. This is stitched on a 25 count. I think it's cream even weave, and I'm stitching 1/1 full crosses. So it takes a long time, especially with full crosses, and there's quite a few color changes in here, quite a bit of confetti, as you can see. The stitches are basically everywhere in that square, and that is the same in all those squares with that field over here. So it's not the easiest to stitch, but I really enjoy stitching it. And I really want to finish all the games so I can move on to 4 seasons, because I really love this project. But we will see about that. Yeah, so that's basically my plans for the next week. And as I said, I will be back on Friday in the week, so tomorrow in the week. Now let's move to Life Update, and we'll see how I get through this. Basically, last Christmas, so Christmas 2021, life pretty much went to shit for my family. I told you a lot about that back then. My grandma fell down the stairs. She was in the hospital. She needed a pacemaker because her heart stopped a few times. She got a pacemaker. She was finally getting better. We finally stopped worrying about her as much. And then, quite surprisingly, my grandpa died. I mean, as surprisingly as it is with an 89-year-old. But he was always still, I mean, of course he had some problems. His heart wasn't the strongest anymore. He always had problems with his blood sugar and stuff like that. But for an 89-year-old, he still was pretty much okay and healthy, and he did good. They were both still living in their apartment, and they managed basically everything on their own. So beginning of February, my grandpa died. That's also the reason I did not do any videos back then. It was really surprising, and it hit me hard. Back when my brother and I were children, we did spend a lot of time with my grandparents, and I was really close with them. So yeah, it wasn't fun. In March, I went to my parents once again because my grandma had her birthday, and it was the first birthday that she spent without my grandpa. And the last birthday she spent without my grandpa, it was her 17th, and now she turned 82, and it was the next birthday without him. They were married for 63 years. So yeah, we wanted to be there for her, and I was so proud of her. She got a lot of strength back. She was walking on her own. And my grandpa's funeral, whenever she needed to go somewhere, she called me over to help her, to just be there for her, and that she could hold on to me. And on her birthday, I was so proud. She was walking on her own, and yeah, I was really proud. And 2 weeks later, we found out she has cancer. I'm kind of grateful because it went fast. She died 2 weeks ago. She was in a lot of pain, and so I was grateful it was that fast. So she didn't need to be in any more pain, and she's free now. But yeah, that's the reason I was at my parents' last week. On Monday was her funeral, so that's why I did not make a video. I hope you understand. Yeah, it was hard. But I'm happy she's pain-free now. They are together again. And of course, I would have liked to have them around for a few more years, but they both got very old. And they had a wonderful life. So I'm good with that. After the funeral, all of their grandchildren, we went into their apartment together, and everyone took some memorabilia with them, just to remember them. Of course, we will always remember them, but just to have a few things. And I'm really happy we did that. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking about that. But that's the reason I did not do any videos back in February and did not do a video last week. I thought I should tell you. Last video, I had a commenter asking if I would visit my grandparents. And it's super sweet to ask that, to think about me, about my life, and what I do when I go back to my parents normally. And so there are definitely no hurt feelings or anything like that. Quite the opposite, actually. But it was really hard to answer the comment, so I'm sorry, you know who you are, for a very short answer. I just did not feel like that's something I could answer in a comment. So I knew I wanted to do this live update and decided to just do it like this. But yeah, thought I should tell you. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think that's my video. I normally like to end on a funny note. That's hard this time. But I still hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I will see you next Friday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy stitching. Bye.